Welcome to Science Fiction and Fantasy Network. My guest today is Paul Darrow. He is an actor and writer best known for his role in the 1970s sci-fi classic Blake 7, where he played the sinister yet charming Care Avon. I asked him initially about how he got started on the road to show business and what led him to becoming an actor.
I wanted to become a film producer and director, and I noticed that there was a company called Hecht, Hill and Lancaster. Ben Hecht, who was a writer, Arthur Hill, who was a producer, and Burt Lancaster, who was an actor. And I thought, of course, I'll have to deal with actors, big names. So I better find out about acting. So after a couple of attempts, I got into RADA, the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art. And after that, I did quite well. I never got round to directing anything until much later in life.
One of your first TV appearances, something called The Odd Man in 1963, I believe. Was that one of your first?
Yes, I used to play chess with Donald Sutherland.
Did you win?
No.
Oh.
He is, or was then anyway, devastating chess player.
You also played the Sheriff of Nottingham at one point, as did the recently late Alan Rickman.
Rest his soul, yes. In the he did the movie and stole the movie from Kevin Costner. I did the television series called, which was supposed to be realistic, and I think it was. For example, the director said, no way would a young woman go off into the forest living with outlaws. So Maid Marian didn't go into the forest and live with outlaws.
Was that one of the roles that got you the part of Avon, that's slightly sinister? Can you tell us a bit about how you got the part of Avon?
My agent said there's a part of an engineer in it's set in the future. So I said, how far in the future? Sort of next week or what? And she said, I've no idea. So I went along, she said, look like an engineer. What does an engineer look like? But I had a jacket with leather elbow things, and I thought, well, that'll do. Anyway, I went along and I was given a script to read, and the character that I eventually played wasn't in it. So I was then brought a cup of disgusting BBC coffee and given another episode and realised I probably had the best part in the series.
You really took a shine to the character. What was it about the character that kept you coming back to it, even after the show was ended?
It opened a lot of doors for me, closed a lot as well, but I went through the ones that were open, and so I enjoyed the part while I created him.
So, I was going to ask you, what kind of influence did you yourself have on the character? How did that go through the process? Did you talk to the writers and the producers?
Well, Terry Nation, rest his soul, is a great man, and we were great friends. I sort of became one of the family, and he would talk, and he told me, he said, what I used to do, he said, I'd write something and then see what you did with it. And he said, you always did something that I didn't expect. So he said, that was fun to write for you. So I went off in a particular direction based on what he had obviously written.
Has that continued into, you've been doing the audios now, has that continued?
No, it's quite different now because, of course, Terry's no longer with us, sadly. But the writers who write for the Blake 7 audios, well, it really rather depends on which character appeals to them. Some find the Avon character irresistible, as I would, but of course, but some don't. So I'm not in every episode.
But you've also done a lot of writing about Avon. You've written books and episodes yourself.
Yes, I have, yes.
What's that experience been like, writing rather than playing the character, or do you find it's a similar process?
Well, they asked, they said, would I be interested in writing a book? So I said, yes, I would. And they said, we're thinking of setting the books in the second or third series. And I said I would like to write one after the series came to an end. And they said, oh, that'd be good. And that turned into a trilogy. But I enjoyed doing it, yes. And of course I knew the character, so it's fairly straightforward.
And what are you working on at the moment? What's next for you?
I work for a radio company called Jack FM, which is very enjoyable. And of course, there are a lot more of these Big Finish, Blake 7,
Thank you very much.
and I've written something myself quite different, which they're going to do.
You were also in this video game with John Guyler, the Contradiction.
Contradiction,
What
yes,
was that like producing it? It looked very complicated.
Well, it was quite fun, actually.
You looked like you were enjoying it.
Yeah, I didn't have to learn it either. I just looked at the script, and then we shoot it, and then if I got it wrong, obviously you did it again.
Is there more coming up from that? I know they're fundraising for another.
I think they're going to do another one, yes.
And will you be coming back for that?
What, in Contradiction?
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, yeah.
Well, I personally enjoyed the game a lot, and I enjoyed you in there.
It was good fun to do, I must say.
Well, thank you very much for talking to us. It's been
Not
an
at all, my
absolute
pleasure.
pleasure and an
My
honour.
distraction.
It's absolutely fine. Shake. Thank you.